Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we return to Rush with a track off their first album called Before and After. We're actually going to look at a live version from 1974, which I think we're kind of lucky to have. Rush fans probably know which gig I'm pulling it from. It's actually a high school gig. But they played a very complete set there, and it's a great place to see some of the early gems. So Before and After is actually the second to last song on the album, just before Working Man, which is the one that actually broke them wide open when I think it was Diane Halper from Cleveland, a DJ, that started playing it incessantly. I mean, I think she might have played it once, and then if that's all it took, she suddenly was getting requests for it. We actually have a copy of the album here, the very first Rush album. Not an original, but pretty darn close. It does go back a long, long way. I believe this is a reissue on Mercury. So yes, look at the guys there. Of course, John Rutsey in the drummer's seat. Neil was not yet there. He was still selling farm machinery, I think, at that point. So Adrian, any thoughts ahead before we take a look?
I don't know what the song sounds like.
Okay. Well, first album usually means it's going to sound a little like Led Zeppelin one way or another. But yeah, let's go ahead and give it a listen and we'll discuss after.
All right.
And it is tonight. Yeah.
high school auditorium.
Yeah.
Love that. What do you think, Adrian?
About halfway through the song, I was surprised to find out there were words. There was a long introduction, and it starts out rather lucid and then goes into a more typical Rush riff for the time. Yeah, the words are nothing like Neil used to write, but they're a bit less poetic and more rock and roll.
The story with the album is that John Rutsey was supposed to write the lyrics, but he showed up at the recording studio and was like, I got nothing. I'm sorry, guys. And so he might have had a couple of little things here and there, but he didn't end up getting any writing credits. So I found that interesting. As for this song, it's the first one that I know of. I think it might be the only one on this album where there is, two separate movements, kind of like what happened later with Baitor and the Snow Dog and like Fountain of Lamnith and all of those tracks, Necromancer, 2112, It was kind of the very first step. It was kind of the first time we saw a song not take a standard rock route with Rush. And then that's kind of what they ended up working on for their next, I don't know, seven albums or something. I thought that was neat. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is a bit of history right here. Rutsey, he's okay, but there were things, like I say, that I noticed, like he didn't follow them along with some of the transitions in there. That, like, Alex and Getty were doing transitions and things and changing the moods. And he wasn't really following that so much. He was kind of just keeping the time with it, like kind of the same beat where he could have done things. There was just a couple of spots where I saw he actually did stuff in line with them. Like going into the faster part, there's a little bit where like, and he's tapping the cymbal along with the bass. It just seems to me that Neil was a better fit altogether when he came along, but I don't want to disparage him, because I think that at the time they were perfectly happy with him, and they were doing well. I mean, they were coming up in the world, like this. By this time, the album had come out, and it was probably pretty close to the time when the DJ in Cleveland came into the picture and helped change their fortunes. So, I mean, I'm sure they would have made some good records anyway with John had they kept with him for a while. But I think I'm glad that it worked out the way it did.
Same here. Not to trash John or anything.
And it should be noted, he left for health reasons, really, because they were going to undertake this major tour. And he was like, I'm never going to make it through this. I think even people around him noticed that and were saying, John, we got some issues here. Because I think he may have already been diabetic at this point. Just had some things going on that was like, well, you better think twice about sleeping in a van for 3 months or whatever it's going to be. Because that's a hard life. Early in the trajectory of any band's career, you're subjected to some serious uncomfortability most of the time. So,
was there a drum solo in this song, like a miniature drum solo or something?
He got some good fills in. There was a part, I think, where it was like and I think it was something like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. And I noticed for the first time, I don't know why it took me this long, that all three of them had the double microphone that was kind of big and obvious in front of them like this. Like, here you go, sing into this. Like, it's almost like the singer's wearing a yoke around his neck or something with microphones.
Yeah, I noticed Getty had one and Alex had one. I guess John must have had one too.
Yeah, and I get the logic. One's a recording mic and one is for the PA in the room. But it worked out. I mean, here we are watching it over 50 years later.
Stood the test of time.
That's right. All right, folks. Well, why don't you let us know what you thought of this clip, of this song. Let us know if you were in the audience there way back then at Laura Secord Secondary School, assuming you probably weren't. But have you ever seen them play this song live? How about that? Because it must have been in their set back then. If you have suggestions for us, leave those below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. All right, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, take care, folks.
See y'all later.